we're looking at August 11th here. Minnesota archery season starts in September. I forget the exact date. But generally speaking, I try to start archery practice a month before opener. And I likely won't actually deer hunt until October, just because I don't like hunting in the warm weather. Now, with the summer kind of wrapping up here, there's a few tasks I've been working on. So, first is practicing archery. So I'm going to be starting that here. I'm going to do this daily until I get more accurate, obviously. It's amazing when you stop shooting bow for a while, like over the course of the winter and most of the summer here. You feel like you should be just fine when you restart again, but then you start shooting again and you realize how bad you are. So it's kind of a restart from there. Now, you don't need to shoot every day by any means to get back to kind of like your normal accuracy, but a couple times a week, spend 20 minutes out shooting, 10 minutes even, starts to improve your accuracy. And it depends on what bow type you're using. If you're using a crossbow, there's not generally a ton of practice that you need to do prior to going out and actually hunting. Not to say crossbow hunting is any different than regular hunting. It's just it's a different type of hunting. You don't need to sit and practice shooting the crossbow as much. I mean, you should, just to ensure that your scope's accurate, your sights are accurate, whatever. Not as detrimental as traditional bow hunting. If you're shooting a compound bow, you're going to want to start shooting before, probably a month before, ahead of time as well, just to dial your sights in, dial your everything in correctly, make sure that your arrow is shooting the way you want it to. Things can change over the course of a year. Your bow could maybe build up more strength. You don't need to, you don't need as much strength. Maybe you lose strength. You need to have more draw strength. Your draw length can change over the course of a year too. Not a ton, but a little bit. And with that comes your arrows should be adjusted as well. So now for myself, you can see I'm shooting wood arrows here. Now these are 125 grain field tips. I use 125 grain broadheads when I actually hunt. They're a vintage Fredbear razorback, razorhead, bow or arrow tip that I use. When I say vintage, they're from the 70s. Got them brand new from the 70s, so they've never been shot. That's the same field tip I shoot as well. That way I'm matching the weight. I use the same arrows, same exact wood arrows, same spine, same length, same everything. So as far as a bow, I use a 1978 Grizzly 45-pound bow. I got pretty sweet quiver on here last year. I really like it. I've shot this for 3 years now. Bought it off eBay for $200. Now, you don't need to spend a whole bunch of money on a bow, especially if you're starting off your first time. I'd like to get a nicer bow than this. This one has a twist in one of the limbs, the bottom limb here. But it shoots just fine. I could take down a deer with this thing. So that's kind of what I've been working on this fall here, getting prepared for hunting season. Rifle wise, I'll scope in my rifle here probably about a month or 2 months prior to the hunting season. Muzzleloader wise, I'll do the same thing. I don't have a scope on it, but I'll get my iron sights sighted in, just make sure I feel comfortable with it. Now, as far as traps go, around this time of year, you should be dyeing and waxing your traps if you choose to do it that way. As you saw some of my traps, I don't dye my traps. That's not because I have anything against dyeing traps. I just don't have the time. So I spray paint a lot of my traps. A lot of the other traps, the foothold traps I have, they're just waxed. I just did light waxing on them. I did beeswax. You should use like a paraffin wax that's odorless. Didn't have any, I used beeswax. So otherwise I plan to spray paint the rest of my traps. Reason being is I just, again, don't have the time to sit and wax. I also don't have a big pot. So, but you should be getting your traps ready around this time. Reason to do so is that they can air out and lose their odor by the time you start trapping. With Kona bears, like beaver traps, not super necessary. Beavers have a fantastic sense of smell. They just don't seem to care a whole lot if that trap smells like a person. So coyote and fox, though, you'll want to get those traps waxed, dyed, spray painted if you choose to do so. Let those traps sit out for about a month before trapping season starts. Now here in Minnesota, trapping season in this part of the state starts at the end of October. I won't get out trapping probably until after rifle season with the deer, so mid-November. So my trap should have plenty of time to air out, but I think it's a good time to do it. It's warm out. I have the time. My garden's not doing much right now, so might as well. So that's just kind of some of the fall stuff I like to work on prior to the season starting here. You want to make sure these things are done ahead of time. I've had so many years where fall comes up and all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, I have not shot my bow yet. I don't have any of my traps ready. That was last year. I had none of my traps ready. And then you're scrambling to get everything done. You're taking shortcuts. Things don't work out. So it's good to get a jump start on it. Like I said, it's August 11th. So it's a good time for me to do it just because, like I said, I don't have much going on in the garden here for another couple weeks. So I figure might as well get going on this stuff. That way I'm more honed in on my shooting, especially with the bow. I am all over the place right now. So it's actually going to be part of my weightlifting regimen. I'm actually going to put my bow in the weight room with me, and I'll do sets of it every day where I pull back on it, draw, just to practice. So not with an arrow, just empty, just so I can hold longer. I mean, last year I was able to hold for almost a minute straight, if not longer. Now I'm like 10 or 15 seconds, so I need to work on that. But okay, that's all I got for you in this video today. So yeah, summer's starting to wrap up here. I'm gonna do one more big fishing trip, and then it's gonna be all about trapping and hunting. So I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, have a blessed day. Bye.